All right, good morning, everybody. We'll call to order our March 29th, 2022 regular meeting of the Mason County Board of Commissioners. We'll begin with our Pledge of Allegiance. Paige Hanson, I see you're on there. Paige, would you mind leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance this morning?
Caught me walking into my office. Sure, I'd be happy to. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America.
Thank you.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. Republic for which it stands, under God,
indivisible, with
liberty, justice.
Bless you, Paige.
Asked me to do that again.
Well, we all know what my secret superpower is, and it's catching people off guard. So thanks, Paige. I appreciate you doing that. Moving on to item number 3, roll call. If the clerk would please take roll.
Randy Netherland.
I'm here.
Commissioner District 2, Kevin Schutte.
Here.
Commissioner District 3, Sharon Trask.
I'm here.
Very good. Moving on to item number 4, correspondence and organizational business. Item 4.1, correspondence. If the clerk would please report the correspondence.
Washington
State Liquor and Cannabis Board sent in the following: liquor and marijuana licenses due to expire and a temporary discontinued license for M&R Distributing. Diane Hartley wrote in regarding the Belfair Development Plan. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission sent in a project information on the 2022 dam safety inspection follow-up and flow and ramping rate deviations and site-specific seismic hazard analysis for the Cushman project. David Mallory sent in a Board of Equalization Advisory Board application, and Dale Elmland sent in a Housing Authority Board application.
Excellent. Very good. Thank you. Item number 4.2, news release, public comment for County Road Project 2023, Uncle John Lower Culvert. Loretta, are you reading that one?
I am. Good morning.
Morning.
Commissioners, this is an invitation for our community to learn some information about a project that we have to replace a culvert or potentially remove the culvert on Lower Uncle John's. Mason County invites the public to comment on alternatives for the Uncle John Creek Lower Culvert Fish Barrier Correction Project. Boy, that's a mouthful. On Agate Loop Road, CRP 2023. Information is available on the county website under the Lower Uncle John Creek Fish Barrier Correction. An open house is planned to present the alternatives on Thursday, April 7th, 2022 at the following location: the Agate Grange, number 275, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And the Grange is located at 1631 Agate Loop Road in Shelton. The open house is for people to drop in, talk with Public Works team members about the design alternatives, get answers to questions, and to share their comments. Comments received by Public Works by 4:30 on April 12th, 2022 will be considered in the department's final recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners. Written comments can be mailed, emailed, or submitted in person to Public Works at Mason County Public Works, 100 West Public Works Drive, Shelton, Washington, 98584, or pwprojects@masoncountywa.gov. Mason County considered various design alternatives, including replacing the culvert with the bridge, which is referred to as Alternative 1, and removing the crossing entirely, which is Alternative 2. Based on the evaluation, Public Works selected Alternative 2 as the preferred alternative. Conceptual designs for the 2 alternatives considered and additional information is available on the Mason County website or at the Public Works Department.
Okay, thank you. Item 4.3, news release, 2022 United Way Day of Caring for dump vouchers. Richard?
Well, I fully intended to read you a nice news briefing, but I'll have to update you. Congratulations, Mason County, and I really appreciate people are eager. United Way has handed out all of their vouchers as of yesterday already. So I apologize for that. I just got word of it this morning. So
Okay.
that's all I got. I'm speechless.
Yeah, that's a first, and I know that these are a popular benefit to the community, and folks have been calling our office, and I'm sure the United Way in your office as well, to try to get their hands on these, and we can continue to work on it and encourage people that receive the vouchers to pick them up to make sure that they're using them, and we're able to hopefully encourage people to get that trash into us.
Yeah, and I mean, we monitor this, and we have a total that we're shooting for. So we'll monitor how those come in, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to reissue more of these later in the summer, early fall.
Great.
If possible.
Excellent. Thank you. Item 4.4, news release, community meeting for Sandhill County Park.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Taylor to talk to you about the parks. On May 1st, Mason County will be applying for a Washington State Recreation and Conservation Office grant to improve the parks in the communities of Belfair and Union. The Sandhill Park in Belfair is projected to expand the existing athletic field to include a synthetic field and parking. The Union Park is expecting to receive a new ADA compliant restroom, which will be a rebuild, a pickleball court that will be covered, and a basketball court to include dedicated parking on the park grounds. So we'd like to, in advance of applying for the grant, have community outreach in those communities, giving them the information, providing them what our plans are, and asking for their input before we do this. So the news releases for Sandhill read, Mason County Parks and Trails is applying for a Washington State Recreational and Conservation Office grant to expand the current complex, adding a synthetic field and parking area. Prior to the submission of the projected improvement, we would like to brief community members on the plans and solicit your comments and support. The meeting is scheduled for April 1st, 2022 at 5:30 p.m. at the Sandhill County Park. Hope to see you there. That's the one for Sandhill. Union is Mason County Parks and Trails is applying for a Washington State Recreation and Conservation Office grant to refurbish the Union County Park. Prior to the submission of the projected improvement, we would like to brief community members on the plan and solicit your comments and support. The meeting is scheduled for April 2nd, 2022 at 11 a.m. at the Union County Park covered area. Hope to see you there. Those are the two releases.
Great. Thank you, John. Next item, item 4.6, Proclamation 2022 National Public Health Week.
Good morning, Commissioners. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you great.
Remote.
Thanks, Lydia.
Okay, good. This is the 2022 National Public Health Week Proclamation, whereas the week of April 4th through the 10th, 2022 is National Public Health Week, and the theme is Public Health is Where You Are. And whereas since 1995, the American Public Health Association, through its sponsorship of National Public Health Week, has educated the public, policymakers, and public health professionals about issues important to improving the public's health. And whereas US life expectancy dropped from 2014 to 2017 in the longest sustained decline since the Great Recession, and only in 2018 began to increase again, US life expectancy then dropped again in 2020 by a full year, which is the largest drop in life expectancy since 1943. And whereas there is a significant difference in health status, such as obesity, poor mental health, and drug use among people living in rural areas compared with people living in urban areas, and this variance increases because rural residents are often more likely to face social determinants that negatively impact health such as poverty, transportation barriers, and lack of economic opportunity. And whereas a person's health status can differ drastically by zip code due to differences in the built environment, environmental quality, community context, access to healthy food, access to education, and access to healthcare. And whereas public health professionals help communities prevent, prepare for, and withstand and recover from the impact of a full range of health threats, including disease outbreaks such as the COVID-19 pandemic, measles, natural disasters, and disasters caused by human activity. And whereas public health action, together with scientific and technological advances, has played a major role in reducing and in some cases eliminating the spread of infectious disease and in establishing today's disease surveillance and control systems. And whereas preventable risk factors such as physical activity, poor nutrition, tobacco use, and excessive alcohol use are leading causes of chronic disease, and 6 in 10 US adults have a chronic disease and 4 in 10 have 2 or more. And chronic diseases cause 7 of every 10 deaths annually in the United States. And whereas the COVID-19 pandemic has illustrated and exacerbated racial inequities and growing number of local governments, state governments, and public health leaders have declared racism a public health crisis. And now, therefore, the Mason County Board of Health and Mason County Board of County Commissioners do hereby proclaim the week of April 4th through 10th, 2022 as National Public Health Week in Mason County, and call upon the people of Mason County to observe this week by helping our families, friends, neighbors, co-workers, and leaders to better understand the value of public health and supporting great opportunities to adopt preventive lifestyle habits in light of this year's theme, Public Health is Where You Are, dated this 29th day of March, 2022.
Very good. Thank you, Lydia. Moving on to item 5, our open forum for citizen input. Again, this is an opportunity for members of the public to address the commission on items that are not on today's agenda. If you would like to make comment on items not on today's agenda, you can go ahead and use the raise hand feature on the Zoom or unmute yourself and say your name to get my attention, and the chair will recognize you. Again, we have about a 3-minute time limit on folks making comment to allow as many people as would like to make comment. Are there any members of the public that would like to make comment on items not on today's agenda at this time? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to item number 6, adoption of today's agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve or adopt the agenda as written.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the agenda as written. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The motion carries. Item number 7, there are no minutes to approve this morning, and so we'll move on to item number 8. It's approval of today's action agenda. Commissioners will read through the items on today's action agenda, at which time a member of the public may ask questions or ask to have an item removed for a separate discussion and vote. The same goes for the commissioners. If they'd like to have an item removed for a separate discussion and vote, they may do so as well after we read through the items. Commissioner Nolan, if you'd please take items 8.1 through 6, Commissioner Trask 8.7 through 13, and I will take the remainder.
Happy to, Commissioner. Mr. Chair, item number 8.1 reads approval of a resolution selecting the Mason County Journal as the official county newspaper for publishing certain legal publications. Item number 8.2, approval to increase the Culvert construction contract number 20-087 budget to the amount of $3,730,000. Item number 8.3, approval of warrants and treasurer's electronic remittance claims clearing fund warrants number 8086789 through 8087046, the amount $1,582,109.67. Direct deposit fund warrants number 82575 through 85666, the amount $829,198.18. Salary Clearing Fund warrants number 7006511 through 7006545, the amount $1,118,837.14. Item number 8.4, approval to set a public hearing for Tuesday, April 26, 2022 at 9:15 a.m. to consider the annual update to the Capital Facilities Plan, Chapter 6 of the Mason County Comprehensive Plan. Item number 8.5, approval to appoint Wes Graves, pumper, Dave Killoran, contractor, and Kim Delaney, citizen, to the On-Site Sewage Advisory Committee for a 3-year term per the committee bylaws. And item number 8.6, approval of the following Heritage Grant applications. Matlock Historical Society, $2,000. Great Peninsula Conservancy, $2,000. McCreevy House Museum of Hood Canal, $2,000. Peninsula Railway and Lumbermen's Museum, $2,000. And Mason County Historical Society, $700, for a total dollar amount of $8,700.
Item 8.7, approval of the resolution authorizing Public Works to purchase original equipment manufacturer OEM parts as a sole source purchase for a Trojan UV to repair the ultraviolet disinfections system at the Belfair Water Reclamation Facility. Item 8.8, approval for the chair to sign the annual certificate of 2021, certificate of expenditures for traffic law enforcement for 2021, and the certificate for expenditures for fish passage barrier removal for 2021 to be included in the annual submittal to the County Road Administration Board by the Department of Public Works. Item 8.9, approval of the private land occupancy permit granting permission for the existing water line running under and across Northeast North Shore Road for address 17491, parcel number 32230-11-90030. Item 8.10, approval to terminate lead pay for Tammy Wright in the Department of Emergency Management and Carl Bud Olson in Parks and Trails on April 1st, 2022. Item 8.11, approval to appoint Margot Canole to the Lewis Mason Thurston Area Agency on Aging for a term ending December 2024. Item 8.12, approval of the Master Services and License Agreement with the International Public Management Association for Human Resources. Item 8.13, approval of the resolution to adopt new precinct boundaries and amend Mason County Code Chapter 1.12 voting precincts.
Item 8.14, approval of the following actions concerning the Mason County Parks and Trails Advisory Board. Reappoint Mendy Harlow for a term ending December 31st, 2026. Appoint Sean Fontana for a term ending December 31st, 2026. And removing Mike DiMatteo as a member due to non-attendance effective immediately. Item 8.15, approval for the chair to sign the amendment to extend the contract with Monarch Children's Advocacy Center through December 31st, 2025, and to add the service for Monarch to procure a translator for interviews and to run all invoices through their office to facilitate payments. Item 8.16, approval to appoint Carl Soper as an alternate member to the Mason County Board of Equalization to fill a position with a term ending May 31st, 2024. Item 8.17, approval to sign the letter of support for Mason County Public Utility District Number 3's community project funding request for 2023. Commissioners, having read through all of the items on today's action agenda, do you have any questions or items that you would like to have removed?
Item 8.10, I do have a question.
Okay, 8.10, Mark, do you have, can you take
Absolutely.
Commissioner Trask's question?
Yeah, I think I know what her question is going to be.
It's about the lead pay for parks.
Yeah, so this was the process where we were terminating lead pay, and then coming up on your next board meeting, you're going to actually have another request to reapprove lead pay for Carl Bud Olson out at Parks and Trails, as well as I think you're going to see another one for Nicole in our Human Resources Department at the same time. So it went off. We actually discussed it as a team, brought some additional information up to John Taylor and Diane, and that request is coming back before the board at your next board meeting.
Great, thank you.
Okay, Commissioners, any other questions or items to be removed? Okay, members of the public, any questions or items to be removed for a separate discussion or vote? Okay, hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move for approval of the action agenda as presented, items number 8.1 through 8.17.
And I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the action agenda items as presented, items 8.1 through 8.17. Any discussion?
Just real quick, I'd like to make a comment on item 8.15. The Monarch Children's Advocacy Center. Such a great opportunity for Mason County to have this available. It's a great resource for children as they're going through difficulties. So wanted to extend a huge shout out to them.
Yeah, Commissioner, if you don't mind, I'm going to tag in that also and just say they are incredible. And currently you serve on the committee that deals with them. Do they still have the dog?
And they actually have two now. One is getting ready to retire though.
You know, to the folks at home, you imagine you have a child that is going through something incredible, scared, and more. To be able to have somebody talk to you while you're sitting there cuddling and holding a dog that's specifically there for that purpose, to bring love, affection, and a calming thing. What a beautiful, brilliant idea, and proud that we can even be any part of something so fantastic. So I agree with Commissioner Trask and just wanted to share that.
Very good. Thank you, commissioners. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? And the motion carries. Moving on to item number 9, other business. If there are any department heads or elected officials that would like to address the commission, please do so now. Okay, seeing none, moving on to item 10, our public hearings. We have no public hearings set for today. So we'll move on to item number 11, our board's calendar and reports. Commissioner Netherland, if you'd lead off, Commissioner Trask, and then I'll finish up.
Okay, so in the last week's Mason Transit Authority meeting, North Mason Chamber of Commerce board meeting, Gorse Coalition meeting, I did attend a candidate fundraiser where Commissioner Trask was there. She had announced that she was going to be there. I didn't realize I was going to be there. I did show up for a moment. We did not have any discussions. We definitely did not discuss business at all. And as a matter of fact, before the candidate spoke, so that there would be taking testimony of the requests that they would have for the county, I went ahead and left to make sure that there was no taking of testimony in any way or fashion, and Commissioner Trask was the one that was there on business as she was supposed to be. So with that being said, I also had a Board of Health meeting, cemetery, a special meeting of the cemetery board. I was gone for 3 days for risk. I got to tell you, I've been through Wenatchee 100 times, and somehow I had never been to the old town of Wenatchee in the back. What a beautiful, beautiful place. That county and that community has done such wonderful things, and that commissioner was so in love with his community. Me and him hit it off so well because we both love our community to the point to where I think there's something wrong with us. Coming up, I have a Peninsula Regional Transportation Organization and an executive board meeting also of the Peninsula Regional Transportation Organization. I'll probably be attending a Port Valley meeting, a left board meeting. Wasac is having that courthouse briefing that we're all going to be attending. One of the great honors of being a commissioner in this community is when we watch our young kids do some incredible things and work so hard. And I always take great pride when I get invited to a commissioning of an Eagle Scout. And so they take a lot of work to get there, and it's amazing the work they put in and how young some of them are when they do get there. And I will have the honor of attending one this coming weeks, and I want to thank them for inviting me to that as well. That brings us back. We'll start over again.
Great. So tomorrow, Wednesday, I'd like to extend a birthday wish to my nephew. Happy birthday, and dang, you're getting old. And then later that day, I have a meeting regarding Community Lifeline, meeting with staff. On Thursday is our courthouse security meeting. I also have CPR class out at Public Works, a DNR beneficiary meeting, Public Works Board meeting on Friday. On Saturday, I'd like to encourage everyone to go to the museum. There is a special, I don't know if you can see this. Go on the website. It's the Mason County Historical Museum. They're having an open house showcasing women leaders of Mason County. They include Irene Davis, Zinn, so many others, Clary Eastwood, Miriam Knight, Ethel Dalby, Maggie Valesco Lucero. So encourage everyone to go to the museum. It's between 2 and 4. Of course, we all know that the museum is on Railroad Avenue in Shelton. So please go and attend that. Show your appreciation to some amazing women that have led in our community. Monday, we have our COVID briefing, and then we have our county briefing, Wasatch Virtual Assembly. I have meetings with Turning Point, and then also Tuesday the 5th is our special commission meeting. Wednesday, I will be attending the women's group meeting at the Shang. Then later that day is the Wasatch courthouse meeting. Friday again, Public Works Board Executive meeting. There's also a ribbon cutting for Hawksview Insurance. Those are always fun to go to. And then that brings us back to Monday, the 11th for the EOC briefing and Wasatch Virtual.
Great, thanks, commissioners. One item from last week that I wanted to touch on, the State Department of Transportation held a stakeholder meeting ahead of their public announcement about 2 roundabouts that are under design and will be under construction in 2024 for the intersections of SR3 at Agate and Pickering Roads. And so just a great opportunity to talk with DOT. We had transit there, had our county staff there, and of course some other stakeholders that DOT is working with. I mentioned this yesterday in our briefings, and it was really encouraging to see DOT taking an active role in planning across SR3. We know from a lot of our recent public hearings how traffic is front and center on folks' minds, in particular in the Belfair area. And so this goes really well together with the freight corridor and the Belfair widening project that both received funds in the legislative session that just concluded earlier this month. And so DOT is seeking public comment, and I think we posted that on our Facebook page, and just encourage people to provide feedback to DOT as they go through the planning and design process. Moving forward this week, have a meeting with the Squaxin Tribe this week, as well as YMCA annual campaign meeting. Have a meeting with Patty Case from Green Diamond, and then also have a meeting with folks from the Alliance for a Healthy South Sound. I was recently appointed to the Puget Sound Partnership's Ecosystem Coordination Board. And so I'm getting together with some of the other folks that are on the Alliance that are also part of the Ecosystem Coordination Board to talk about priorities for South Sound and beyond. Also have the Shelton Rotary social on Thursday evening, followed by the Behavioral Health Navigator Work Group on the 1st. Next week, I have a meeting with Olympic Health and Recovery Services as a follow-up to the Behavioral Health Navigator Work Group meeting. We have our Belfair special meeting, our continued hearing on the 5th. Followed by the Transmission Corridors Work Group. As was mentioned, the State Association of Counties briefing with us. Have a couple of constituent meetings to round out that week, then back for briefings with an Alliance for a Healthy South Sound Executive Committee meeting. My regular check-in with the staff leadership at the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Administrative Service Organization, as well as the Mason Crisis Service System of Care Work Group heading into our next regularly scheduled business meeting. Commissioners, any other information or items for your calendars?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, if I may, I skipped something or forgot something. I wanted to touch on it. There was a fundraiser. I participated in a fundraiser here in Shelton, and I know Commissioner Trask has made it clear how Shelton steps up when things are needed. I got to see that firsthand in the event that we did. We brought enough food to do a regular day of business for any restaurant all at one time. This was to raise money for kids in Mason County to be able to have, who box, to be able to have an event up here by them. Currently, they have to travel all the way to Vancouver, Washington in order to get a match. And so this was to raise money for them. And as Commissioner Trask has told us over and over again, I should have been even more prepared, because even though we had enough food to go for everybody, for any restaurant for a full day, within an hour and 45 minutes, there was absolutely nothing left. We were even scraping together to make one last meatball sandwich because there was nothing left and we had to cut it in order to even provide anything with meat in the middle. Then they also donated, on top of everything they bought, the tips and everything, they just kept throwing money at it. And I want to say that the city of Shelton raised literally 3 times the amount they had dreamed of having, because there was standing room only, and the people of Shelton came out from everywhere to support these kids. And you got to just say, you got to love it when a community will step up for their kids like that. I was more than impressed. So Commissioner Trask, your comments that you've made, I've seen it firsthand, and I just want to say, I get it.
Yeah, jump in real quick too. I mean, Mason County rocks. There's no doubt about that. Last night I was up at the hub for the North Mason Community Voice, and we did a presentation. As you know, I'm a Turning Point board member, and so we did a presentation for them about domestic violence and what to look for and things to prepare for. They, I cannot say enough about Mason County. I really do think that we have a very special county here, and I'm sure that other counties are probably jealous because we are so amazing.
Great. Thank you, Commissioners. Good updates. If there's nothing else to come before us, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chair, I move we adjourn.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? The motion carries. Have a good day, everybody.
You too.